Bum 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 dum dun dun do 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 do. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to make the switch from calling it NX what I used to. Greeting interwebs, it's Jackie K, and welcome for another edition of the KayCast. Real quick, my upload schedule, I have good news and bad news about. The bad news is the next couple weeks it might be a bit lighter than usual. Just because while I do have a Chippy Rubble Ziplash video for that week, I don't have anything planned for the week afterwards. The good news is that the next part of Yellow vs. Leaf Green is finally coming out. That's right. Wednesday, there's going to be a new edition of Yellow vs. Leaf Green. And while I can't promise when the following episode is going to go up of Yellow vs. Leaf Green, I can confirm that I already started working on the scripting for it. And I do have an outtakes yet to release, if it takes too long for me to get the next video made. I'm still going to try to focus on finishing up Chippy Robo Ziplash, especially since I'm running out. I don't even have any playthroughs edited. I have some things recorded, but currently all I have edited and ready to go on YouTube is the bonus Amiibo video. As for what I've been up to, I'm still trying to beat as many Pokemon games as I can before the release of Sun and Moon. I have gotten up to the final badge in Pokemon Blue. I started the Pokemon League, not the League 4, but the League dungeon itself, but when I realized how overwhelmingly high my opponents were compared to me, I decided to go backtrack and explore some of the other dungeons that I skipped over, like the power plant, and I'm not positive I'm even going to bother with Steam Foam Island, but I'm definitely considering it. Though I also resumed my Pokemon Soul Silver playthrough. Turns out that I had a file started up to the second gym, pretty much right outside the Elix Forest. So I resumed that today, or should I say within the past week, and got up to beating Whitney and shaking off the shaking tree, getting to the town that followed. Yeah, unfortunately I didn't have the infamous experience of Whitney's gym because I actually used the built-in get out of jail free card through trading the mat shop. Trading a Drowsy with the guy in the department store to get a female map shop in exchange. I was just going to use it to breeze through the gym, but looking it over, it actually fits the theme I have going on with my team perfectly. And I'll just leave it at that. I've also finally got to resume playing Skylander games. Thing with Skylanders, as you may know, I have a hard enough time sitting down and turning on a console. For some reason, handhelds just are a lot more accessible to me. Skylanders are even harder to find a non-awkward time to play. But yesterday was a special day, so I said screw it. I'm going to actually make progress on this game. I don't know how far I am from beating Skylanders Trap Team, but I did play a level in it, and I went back because apparently there's something I could get that I just didn't have the right villain trapped away in. So I actually went for the level twice. I don't know how far I am from the end, but hopefully I'll be done soon so I can actually give Supercharger a try. Yeah, I know there's a Skylander game that's already came out, and I haven't even touched the game before that. But I'm okay with that because the best way to get Skylanders without hurting your wallet is to wait for that stuff to go on clearance sales and other offers. So I'm going to assume that by the time I finish up Trap Team, go back and finish up Swap Force because I kind of skipped that game, and then play Supercharger. The Imaginator game should be on a clearance rack in some shape or form. And here's where I'd be talking about Amiibo news, if I had any. However, there is a major Nintendo announcement, the elephant in the room, that I want to bring up anyways, because one, this is Nintendo's next generation of consoles, so it's a big deal for anyone who uses any element of a Nintendo game, including Amiibos. Two, the console was confirmed to have Amiibo functionality, so it ties in. So those of you who haven't known, for the longest time Nintendo has announced that they're making a new console, codenamed the NX, and that's it. That's all they've been telling us. However, on October 20th, after what seems like years, even though it's probably more accurate to say that it was months, of waiting with no information, finally released some form of trailer or announcement about this NX console. Granted, it was a 3-minute trailer, not a full direct, so if you're looking to learn for every single detail on this console, you may be a little disappointed by it, but I think it did a great job with what it aimed to do. Now, I'll leave the overanalyzing of every little detail to people much more popular to me and with more experience on it. However, I do want to go over my takeaway from the trailer. One, the NX is now going to be referred to as the Nintendo Switch, which I think is a great name for the console, considering its main gimmick is being able to switch from being a console to a handheld console, pretty much being one of the first portable home consoles that I can imagine. And those are the two main takeaways from this trailer. There's a lot of detail to it, so you might be able to pick out more additional things if you look closer at it, but as I said, I think I'm going to leave that for people doing more. I'm happy for it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get it at launch at this rate, so I can't be excited for it. But like with all consoles, it will boil down to what games they have in store for it, so time will tell for sure. Things are looking up right now though, because shortly after that trailer they did release a picture of all the third-party support they had, and it certainly blew what they had for the Wii U, maybe even the Wii, out of the water. Last takeaway I want to do for the NX is through an article on Nintendo Wired. It was confirmed that there was going to be Amiibo support. They weren't able to figure out how that Amiibo support was going to happen though, because it didn't look like the controller had the means of scanning an Amiibo that the Wii U did. So there's speculation that it might be from the size of the controller. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I do encourage you to look up the Nintendo Switch trailer so you can at least see what the console looks like and get a better idea of what I'm describing. I'll be sure to link you guys to it in the description of the video. If you're listening to this and don't have access to links, it shouldn't be too hard to find. It's already Nintendo's most popular video on their YouTube channel, and it was one of the newer videos they released too. As for what I've been up to with custom Amiibos, I'm still working on the duck hunt that I mentioned last week. I finally mixed the paints that I need to finish it off though, and I feel like I've made a significant amount of progress. I want to say it's done now even, but I should probably look more into seeing if I can get the underbelly to match. It's not the end of the world if I don't, and see if I can find a way to clean it up a bit more. I might have actually gotten a little too carried away with mixing paint, because I wanted to make sure I had enough so I could avoid the situation of not having enough and pretty much having to repaint it all over again, because you can't exactly match it up perfectly. But because I had so much extra paint, I decided to actually go over a bullet bill that I was working on, and I think this color matches it slightly better, so I decided just to repaint it with the color. I might need to do a little few more coats before saying that's done though, but it worked out a lot better than I thought. But why put the focus on just me? As I've been doing the past few weeks, I do want to showcase a few other custom amiibos I've came across on the internet. I haven't done as much amiibo research this week because I know Pokemon Sun and Moon is going to take up a good chunk of the KayCast. Just all the stuff from previous announcements and trailers I wasn't able to cover because of the timing of recording the last KayCast, and the fact that a Sun and Moon demo came out. It's probably going to take at least 20 minutes just to go over all my thoughts on everything that came out in between weeks. There are two though that I want to point out. For this first custom, if it was just the amiibo by itself, it would be pretty simple, but I really like the way they decided to set it up. It's a post I found on the Amiibo Reddit, and it's titled My Mother 3 Collection. Essentially, they have the Mother 3 handbook, a GBA card of Mother 3, and to each side, he has two Lucas amiibos. One that's painted to look like claws, and one just of the normal Lucas. I recommend going under custom amiibos on the Amiibo Reddit and look it up yourself, because it was a really great arrangement in my eyes. The second custom amiibo I actually found on the Reddit as well, but it's a name that I actually did bring up in a previous KayCast when showcasing custom amiibos. This one's definitely worth the second showcase though. It's done by Xanark and Sky, and it looks like, if I had to guess, it was modeled based on the Wii Fit trainer, but it's Aeris from Final Fantasy VII. I know the fantasy was butchered pronunciation-wise horribly, but Aeris was not. I personally don't mind if you call it Aerith or Aeris. Did I really just call her it? I just came up with a horrible joke, but it's technically spoilers, so I'll just leave that to your imagination. Back on tangent though, this is a really amazing custom. You can actually see all the details in her hair to make it actually look hair-like. Some of the normal amiibos don't even bother going into this much detail over the hair itself. And it's even got the flower field that she hangs around in for the base. I don't think words can properly describe this amiibo, so if you're not watching this on YouTube where I can show a picture or two of it, I would highly encourage you to go look up this post. Either look up Xanark and Sky's Instagram account, or go to the Reddit and look up Aerith Gansper under the custom amiibo tag. There was some new news for Pokemon Go. Those of you who follow me closely might have noticed me talking about how the interface for Pokemon Go looks a little different, especially with the icon for the Go Plus and that. Turns out that was an update, and this blog post made detailed note about it. Essentially, it's just adjusting the notification settings for the Go Plus. Now you can choose whether to get notifications when you catch a new Pokemon, or stop by a Pokestop, or if you should not. And the update also allowed it so you can keep the Pokemon Go Plus running even if you do something on your phone in the game, like catch a Pokemon by hand or interact with a gym. I'm pretty sure I was talking about this previously, and as I mentioned then, I really enjoyed this change. What I didn't enjoy was what I was able to catch this week. On one hand, I can't really complain, because I finally was able to get a couple 10-kilometer eggs, get them hatched, and I got some decent things out of them. I got my first Magmar, which wasn't too bad in the IV department. Finally got a decent fire type to use. Screw you, Jenna. For those of you just tuning in, Jenna is the name of my Flareon that I'm blaming for a couple weeks ago getting nothing but Jolteons every time I name my Eevee Prio. Jenna doesn't want to be replaced, but too bad this Magmar is definitely replacing you. And I also got a Jinx. Now, I've actually, when I was over at Tasucon, I caught a few Jinx. So I thought this was a real disappointment to get out of the egg. But it's got really good IVs and apparently a decent moveset, so I can't complain, but I just wish I would have gotten something new out of those eggs that I spent 10 kilometers walking to hatch. Thankfully, I actually bothered to go into my incubators, so I didn't have to walk 10 separate kilometers, 20 kilometers in total, just to hatch the two. But still a bit disappointing on my end. I will make good use out of them, so I can't complain. What I can complain about was the lack of catching anything really remote besides that. I still haven't evolved my Pokemon. I'm actually trying to get either my Nidorina or Gloom enough candies to evolve it before pulling out the Lucky Egg and evolving everything. And it's starting to show. I'm getting a lot of Pidgeys and a lot of Weedles saved up that I'm not releasing because I got so many candies to use for evolution. I'm just holding off so much because I really want to get one more Pokemon that I actually plan to use for battles ready to evolve before using the Lucky Egg. Either this Nidorina that I caught and talked about a few weeks ago, or get enough Oddish candies to evolve the Gloom into a Vileplume. And I'm still a far way off from both of them. I think worst of all about this week is that I could have caught something. I could have caught something that I would have been proud to talk about here for the KayCast. But I let it get away. So, on one of my walks, I came across a familiar silhouette. It was an Abra. So I decided to keep walking down the path instead of heading back, see if I could come across it. And then I realized that I was supposed to make a call, so I started rushing back to the car. I still had to go plus running, and it was serving me quite well up to this point, especially with the update where you could catch Pokemon without the Go Plus disconnecting through your phone. There's some cases where I was able to catch one Pokemon with the Go Plus while working on catching another one by hand, and it was really efficient. Very few of them were running from the Go Plus. But because I was in a rush to get back, I had to turn off my phone and just tap my Go Plus if I saw the light glow. It glowed yellow, and out of instinct I tapped it. And then it glowed red. I realized that meant that I missed something, so I pulled up my phone, looked at the journal, and that Abra I was looking for, it missed being caught and ran away. If I would have remembered that yellow meant new Pokemon that you haven't encountered for the Pokedex, I would have actually stopped what I was doing, pull up my phone, and actually catch it by hand, because Abras are a Pokemon that run away if you miss the first ball anyways. They have like a 99% flee rate. Not that that matters, because whenever you use the Go Plus, if you don't catch anything catch something on your first ball, it runs away. I was so salty. This wasn't even funny. By the way, I still have yet to find another Abra. I've seen the silhouette of it a couple times, but I've never actually encountered it. And I know some of you are going to say, well, if they had tracking in Pokemon Go, you would have found it. But those were situations that I wouldn't have been able to go look for the Abra even if I had the means to track it down anyways. I have unpopular opinions regarding tracking, and I got too much to talk about for Pokemon Sun and Moon. So I'm gonna just save that tangent for another day. So, FYI, if you are watching this KayCast and want to avoid any sort of Sun and Moon info, I recommend tuning out now. because the rest of this video will be dedicated to talking about the news I missed and the Sun and Moon special demo. Before you go, I would appreciate it if you showed your appreciation, liking the video, checking out social media feeds that you might be interested in, so you can keep up to date on updates that I make. With all that out of the way, onwards with the show. So, for one, pretty unfortunate timing if I say so myself, but they released a trailer right after I recorded the audio for the last KayCast, so I wasn't able to talk about it. It is kind of old news at this point though, so I'm just gonna quickly breeze through. Most of this stuff is evolution, so I should be able to do that. One, Type Null was revealed to have an evolution into Silverary, even though it's basically just taking its helmet off. It gets a new ability, quote unquote, the RKS system, and it works exactly like another Pokemon that has an ability called Multi-Type. It changes its type based on whatever item it's holding, so it can become any type of Pokemon. RKS. An ability similar to a mythical Pokemon I've seen. I wonder who it could be. Next up we have Jamino evolving into Hakamino, and then Komodo. When it evolves into Hamiko, it gets a fighting type, making it the first dragon fighting type in the whole Pokemon series. Cutiefly evolves into Remobi, and I didn't find anything too significant beyond that. Bunnelsweet evolves into Cindy, and then into Tasserine, and I'm pretty positive I'm butchering all of those. The good news is they no longer have to worry about getting eaten by other Pokemon. Reading over the bio for Sinoni on the website, it mentions something about it having a harder head, so it doesn't have to worry about being stabbed by other Pokemon. I can just play with them instead. Wow. Wow. Nature can be cruel. When it fully evolves, it does get a new ability, an actual new ability, called Queenly Majesty, and it blocks priority moves. So if you try to use a quick attack or an Aqua Jet, you don't do your move at all. Assuming you're fighting against this thing, of course. Grimer and Muk now have Alola forms. They're basically based off oil spills, and it's more noticeable with Muk with the multi-colors, but it's a little prevalent with Grimer as well. It's now a Poison Dark type, and its abilities are slightly swapped if I recall, with it now being able to either get Poison Touch or Glenning. In the past, I believe Glenning was replaced with, I believe it used to have Stench or ability along those names before being on a little Grimer. Now it gets Glenning. And it kind of fits the description on the site too, because the Grimers and Mugs were brought over to Alola to basically act as compost, eating up all the garbage. However, they develop an appetite, so they're infinitely hungry, and they'll even eat random appliances if they don't have enough trash to chomp through. The teeth that the Grimer have are actually crystallized garbage, and it only becomes more prominent when it evolves into a Muk. Besides that, the trailer revealed 2 new people that are relevant to the plot of the game, 1 Island Kahuna, and 1 Trial Captain. Though I could have sworn that the Kahuna was around for a while, and I don't even remember the Trial Captains before this guy, until looking up the site myself. On to the point though, second Island Kahuna is Olivia. You meet up with her at the second island you visit. She talks about using rock types in the trailer, and according to the site, she was chosen at a young age, making her kind of special. Because apparently, a lot of the Kahunas were chosen after long periods of experience. I don't really know anything more than that, but it's not like oh, what's the big mystery kind of mystery. It's just they didn't tell us anything more than that, and I'm not sure if there is anything more than that to know. She does already have her fans, so good for her. other character was the Captain Ilima. I am positive I am butchering that pronunciation. He's an expert on normal types. They talk about how he graduated from trainer school, so he's the Roxanne of this generation. Something that only just hit me. There are only 4 islands, but there's already more than 4 island trial captains. So that gives me the impression there's either going to be multiple captains, multiple trials on a single island, which was not what I was originally thinking. Or this is really pulling up the tinfoil hat, but maybe some trial captains will appear in Sun and others will appear in Moon. I don't think we got a confirmation either way, and I might be looking too into it. And I know it's not new, but I do want to go over one other trial captain that I missed, but it's probably my favorite so far. She's Lena, and she's a water type expert. She just looks adorable and has a nice design. The little background we do got of her right now is she's a very dedicated family person and acts as a reliable older sister to all the younger siblings she has. Probably the character I'm looking most forward to meeting in the game so far. I guess that all that leaves to talk about is the Pokemon Sun and Moon special demo that was released the other day. Actually, a couple days by the time I get this up, but I personally just played it yesterday. Before I talk about my gameplay experience with it, there was unfortunately an incident where hackers were able to go into the demo, and in the demo itself, able to leak the entire Pokedex. Now, I've been staying away from this news, and don't worry, I'm not going to spoil it here. There is one very minor thing I want to bring up, though. It really got me excited, giving me the impression that there's a lot to discover in this game, even though so much has been revealed to us already. Essentially, it's been found that there's over 700 Pokemon in the Alola Pokedex, and I swear, if you consider that a spoiler, I don't know what to say. It's probably the least spoilers thing I feel like I've talked about in this entire KayCast, just listing a number. And I really wanted to say that, even though it hasn't officially been revealed, because this number gets me so excited of what we're going to run into in the game. I'm positive that this is not 700 new Pokemon. That would be insane. But this is probably in combination with the new Pokemon, Alolan forms, and Pokemon from past generations coming back. There's not even 700 past generations of Pokemon yet, though. Okay, that's not actually accurate. I took another look at Bulbapedia. Scroll down to the very last entry in the National Dex for Generation 6. And excluding Pokemon from the new generation that has yet to be released, there are currently 721 Pokemon. Wow. I did not realize how high the number has climbed over the years. I still stand by my point. With a Pokedex of 721 Pokemon nationally versus a regional Pokedex of 700, the only way that could be the case is if they rehash a lot of the legendaries from older generations, which I don't think they're gonna do. So I'm still fairly confident there's a large number of new Pokemon we have yet to see, and that's why Game Freak and the Pokemon Company have been so persistently releasing new Pokemon at what feels like an every week, if not every other week rate. So the fact that there's that many in the Pokedex kind of reveals that there's still a few surprises left in store, and there's going to be plenty of Pokemon to collect throughout the adventure. People who've probably been concerned because a lot of older Pokemon weren't mentioned, don't fret. There's a good chance your favorite Pokemon's coming back with a number this high. It's just as I suspected, they're not really focusing on the old Pokemon because they're trying to generate hype. And releasing and talking about new Pokemon, or even the new forms of old Pokemon, generates a lot more hype than saying, oh, Ladybug is coming back. And no, I'm not making that up. Ladybug is going to be in Sun and Moon. It was one of the Pokemon shown in the wild during their Nintendo Treehouse footage. So it's there, it exists. We just tend to forget it because they don't focus the trailers on it. With that out of the way, I guess that just leaves Sun and Moon, the special demo itself. Well, I'm a little conflicted how to feel about it because it definitely did its job. It gave us gameplay of the game, showcasing Z-moves, the new Pokemon photography feature, and letting us experience the new Pokemon along the way through battles and exploration. And there was Team Skull, and man, it was fun with Team Skull. However, unlike the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire demo, where you did it once and there was incentive to do it again and again, I feel like the Sun and Moon trailer lacks in this a little bit. And I have a personal theory why that is. But as for why I feel it doesn't have the replay value of the past special demo, essentially you beat the main game once, you go through a few miscellaneous areas and get items, one section where you battle some trainers, and that's it. And I think the most utter underwhelming thing about the demo is the fact you only have one Pokemon. And it's that Ash Greninja that they promoted about. It's fun to use for sure, but it's kind of hard to really enjoy a Pokemon game with a single Pokemon. And that's exactly what they do. There is one point in the main story of the demo where Juniper loans you a... No... I called him Juniper because I was thinking Junpei. I forgot his actual name. But the professor gives you a Pikachu. He loans you a Pikachu. And while you can use it in between point A and point B, it's mostly for the very end of point B, where he gives you the Z ring, allows you to do Z moves. Once, on a single Golbat, knocking out in one hit. And right then afterwards, he takes the Pikachu back. He lets you keep the Z ring and the electric Z crystal, but without any electric Pokemon in your party, you can't use that Z move ever again. Bravo, Game Freak, bravo. That's probably the worst part about the trailer. The replayability isn't as good as Omega Ruby Apple Sapphire either, but man, that was just a major mechanic of Sun and Moon, and you only get to use it once. Heck, if you're really adventurous and somehow decide to use your Greninja against the Golbat instead of the Z move, despite the fact that they purposely move Pikachu up in front when you fight said trainer, you miss out on, regardless, if you don't do that, you miss out on using a Z move for the entire demo. And as far as I know, you can't replay that section. You don't get to experience the Z move again. It's a one chance shot to try it out. I'm a bit more forgiving with the lack of content to do after you beat the demo, because it looks like that content's still there, they're just spreading it out over time. Going around the town, I noticed there's quite a few NPCs that have time-based events, where they're saying like, oh, I'm gonna meet up with a dude in 5 days. Stop by then and I'll let you know about it. Or, there's this shady deal that's gonna be going on in 19 days. I wonder if I can do it myself. Or this lady that goes, I'm gonna be leaving on a boat in 12 days. Will you be there to see me off? Random things like that, and I'm not even gonna be able to remember all these, but I'm gonna be counting on the internet to remember for me. I actually did do one of those time events because there was one guy that went, come see me not today, not the day after, but tomorrow. And since I played the demo yesterday, tomorrow was today, and he gave me a bunch of pretty links, which are basically selling items. And I don't even think they're good selling items, but at least he gives you a bunch of them. Yeah, so overall, the Sun and Moon demo wasn't bad, but I feel like I would have gotten a lot more enjoyment out of it if I had more Pokemon to work with. And actually, that's it. I'm gonna wait until all the time-based events before complaining about there not being too much to do once the game is over. I don't like it as much as the way they did in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, but I completely understand why they did it. Spreading the things you can do in the demo over a period of time probably keeps the hype for the game going a lot longer than someone who rushes through all the content in 1 or 2 days and then never picks up the demo again. And it really makes me wonder what happens when you transfer the Greninja over, since it is your only Pokemon. Does that kind of screw you out of playing the demo anymore? I don't think it would be a big deal at that point because it is the Sun and Moon demo, and if you can transfer to Sun and Moon, that means you have Sun and Moon and you can just play that, but just something rubs me the wrong way about that. So that's all I got for this week's KayCast. Once again, I encourage you to like, favorite, whatever the system for leaving positive feedback is on the place you're watching or listening to this to. I always appreciate the support. If you're watching on YouTube, I encourage you to subscribe for more content. And if you want to keep up to updates, I have several social medias you can do so on. There's the informal Twitter of Jacket stuff. There's the formal Facebook of Jacket KLPs. And if you want to follow me for art, there are several places you can do so between the names of JACKITK and JACKITKAY. First spelling should be good for finding my DeviantArt account for custom amiibos. Second spelling should be good for finding the art Facebook page and Instagram. Last but not least, if you want to support my custom amiibo work, I do sell them as well as other art online. I believe if you go to jacketkay.storenivy.com, you should be able to find that there. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Okay?